Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Main News. The headlines. CHILUFYA TAYALI maintains his allegations against President LUNGU. CONCOURT throws out John SANGWA'S petition against ECZ. PF's JJ BANDA disgraces PF's DORA SILIYA as he goes solo. In international news, DORA Congo announces a joint operation with Uganda army to defeat Islamist rebels. And in sports news, Champions League final moved to Porto and 12,000 Chelsea and Manchester City fans can attend. Join me with the main news in detail after this commercial.
The much awaited for Camnet conference is now scheduled for May 2021 with your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
We have believed that every Zambian was born for greatness and that you and I can contribute to the development of this nation.
The big questions to ask are, can Zambia develop through agriculture? Can we produce indigenous Zambian millionaires? Plan not to miss this national conference on empowering Zambians through agriculture knowledge. Dates 28th to 29th May 2021. Time 07:30 hours to 16:30 hours. Venue the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Charges 950 kwacha. Lunch inclusive for both days. Payments through via mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010, or you can pay via Stanbic bank account number 91 3000 1825 325. Speakers will be Professor Reda.
We need Zambia to be one of the best nations in Africa.
Professor Munkumba.
If you just listen to a lecture, you may remember hardly anything. In 2 weeks' time, it's all gone. If you read, you may remember 10% of what you've read. If you participate in a discussion, 50% retention of the knowledge. So I always tell people, knowledge is the thing that when you share it, you don't lose it.
Professor Msongole.
Agriculture can actually solve our unemployment for our youth. Through exports, agricultural exports, we can also stabilize our foreign exchange.
Honorable Bob Chinga.
When you do a budget, you plan it so that all the sectors, especially those that will give you low-lying fruits, in other words, you can achieve a lot with it, are the first things you do first.
And biologist Kamweneshe.
If we came together and put our hands together and concentrate on the soil. The people in Kenya, these Swahili people said, Dongo ni mali, means soil, that's money.
Register your participation through Camnet lines. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And now the main news in detail. Zambian former Tanzania-Zambia Railway Authority TAZARA employees who worked for the company in Tanzania have demanded for payment of their balances on their terminal benefits, which the Zambian government is alleged to be still holding on to. The former workers explained that while working in Tanzania as expatriates, their terminal benefits were paid in full by the Tanzanian government in dollars, but the Zambian government underpaid them when the money was converted into kwacha. A former employee, Alex Mubili, who spoke on behalf of other former employees, says the former employees are owed in excess of 40,000 United States dollars, which government undervalued from their benefits.
They worked for the Zambian government but as expatriates in Tanzania under TAZARA Railways. These former TAZARA employees claim they were paid their benefit in United States dollars by Tanzania Railways, which was sent to the Zambian government. The Zambian government surprisingly underpaid them their dues when their benefits were converted into kwacha in 2016. The 8 former TAZARA Railways employees now claim they are owed in excess of 40,000 United States dollars by government, which they now want the Ministry of Transport and Communications to explain why their plea for their benefit has taken long.
Claim our underpayment that was done in 2016 when the government assisted TAZARA to pay some of the payments to TAZARA employees. It was unfortunate the people who were computing the payments made a mistake in converting the dollar into a kwacha. They just applied the kwacha as if we were based in Zambia, yet we were operating from Tanzania, which is an interstate posting.
The former employees have also explained that they took the matter to court, which ruled in their favor, and that Zambia Railways acknowledged their mistake and claimed they would look into the matter.
It is written here, permanent return of benefits. I'd like to acknowledge the receipt of your letter dated 27th May 2016 in regard to the above matter. The issues raised in your letter are noted and receiving active consideration. You will therefore be informed of our resolve in due course. And they could not appear in court. Judgment was passed in default and in favor of us. To date, we haven't received anything. In 16.
While others have died, these former employees are determined to do whatever it will take to have their dues paid.
Acting PS, but his response seems as if he doesn't have an idea on what we have come here for. Trying to explain to him, he said, no, I'm busy on the conference meeting that he's having with the PSs on the online. So he said, if you want, you can wait so that I can attend to you. Even if I'll finish at 18 hours, you can come and then we discuss. So we are still trying to wait for him so that we make him understand what we have come here for.
And efforts to get a comment from Ministry of Transport and Communications Permanent Secretary Engineer Mishek Lungu could not materialize, as he is out of office while his acting PS says he knows nothing about the matter. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Government says it will serve in excess of about 41 million kwacha per annum following the restructuring of the Ministry of Health headquarters. Minister of Health Dr. Jonas Chanda says the annual cost implication for implementing the new organization structure has reduced from about 89 million kwacha per annum to about 48 million kwacha per annum. The Health Minister also says restructuring of the ministry has resulted in a decrease of staffing by 183 posts. Dr. Chanda says none of the employees have lost jobs, but that maintaining a lean number of specialized staff means redeploying more specialized staff back to the service delivery areas where they are mostly needed. Suspected PF cadres have gone on a rampage to invade land near State Lodge area. Environmental activist Robert Chimambo was a recent victim as PF cadres stormed his farmland to allocate themselves plots. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Chimambo has, however, thanked Woodlands Police Station for quick intervention, which saw 5 cadres being arrested. Mr. Chimambo says he was roughed up by the cadres, a situation he described as unfortunate. He has warned that if lawlessness is allowed to thrive in the country, risks becoming a failed state.
Land administration in Zambia remains an area of concern. Owning land is not easy, especially in urban areas, as it is expensive, and hence people with money, connections, and foreigners remain privileged to access this important national resource. Land governance, which is supposed to be the preserve of the Ministry of Land and Natural Resources and the local authorities, has been taken over by political cadres. This area is called State Lodge, and it seems to be a target for suspected cadres. Environmental activist Robert Chimambo is a recent victim as cadres stormed his farmland to allocate themselves plots. It was a complete takeover of the piece of land as traces remain visible. And these incidents are taking place barely a few days when the country launched the national land policy. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Chimambo has however thanked Woodlands Police Station for a quick intervention which saw 5 cadres being arrested.
Pause and say that all this land of mine they're going to share. And they said I can go and report anywhere, including the police. And the fellow who was here was claiming to be PF youth, Lusaka youth from town center or something like that. So I told this fellow, I said, look, my friend, here I have a title given to me by the government. If you have an issue, go to the government and quarrel with them. So he promised, he says, tomorrow morning, meaning today, they are supposed to come with a bus and a whole horde of their cadres to come and take over my land.
Mr. Chimambo says he was victimized by the cadres, a situation he described as unfortunate.
Guys, you know, but you see, we need to be very careful with this kind of thing. I've had colleagues from Liberia, from Sierra Leone, and let me say this. That is how Sierra Leone and Liberia broke down. People have, and you know those friends of ours in Liberia, they are old villages. They will just see people coming, putting beacons. When they try and say they find out, no, the whole structure up has been compromised over. So the people now took it upon themselves. They formed what are called vigilante groups. If they see someone getting in their land, they killed. That's how the law and order broke down in Liberia and Sierra Leone. Let us not allow this to happen in Zambia.
He has warned that if lawlessness is allowed to thrive, the country risks becoming a failed state.
The command at the Woodlands police station for the quick action that they took to arrest these chaps. And that is how we should do it. Let us not allow our laws, law and lawlessness to take over our country. We should not allow, should not even think about it. What I saw, I've been around here from Northern Rhodesia myself. I've never experienced anything like that. Even at the waste of time, when we were told there was corruption in Zambia, where what I saw, what I experienced, is so real. It's what we see in the failed states. We just chaps come and begin to manhandle us. We have taken over your land. Zambians should not allow this.
Now that the land policy is in place, one can only hope that it will be effectively implemented to curb such vices. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
New Heritage Party Deputy Secretary General Edwin Zulu has acknowledged having difficulties in meeting the number of candidates to present as verification at the Electoral Commission of Zambia. In an interview with Camnet TV after filing the nomination, Mr. Zulu explains that Heritage Party has come to reclaim what belongs to the Zambian people. He notes that for a long time the Zambian people have lost out on what belongs to them to foreign hands, but assures the Zambian people that with the coming of the New Heritage Party, Zambians will reclaim what belongs to them. New Heritage Party is the only party fielding in female president among the 18 candidates expected to contest in the August 12th election.
To get our inheritance, our heritage. The Zambians are missing out on their heritage. Foreigners and other people are the ones who are enjoying. So we're saying when we come back into office, or when we come into office, we ensure that Zambians have their heritage. The land, the waters, the natural resources, the minerals, we will give them back equally and equitably. So that's what we want to do. And also we want to ensure that poverty is eradicated, that only all the Zambians have enough. We're not whereby we have 20% or 10% doing very well, but 80% are doing very poorly. So we're coming on the table to actually bring sanity. We don't believe in violence. We are also coming on the table to bring politics of reasoning and not confrontation. At the same time, the woman has got a lot of experience and background in the corporate world, and so she will be able to give her experience and we'll be able to help her so that this nation can go forward, because we've suffered a lot. Since independence, we have not gotten anything that belongs to us. Card bank members, in fact, we're the only party that has got cards. And also at the same time, we spoke the message about CHILUFYA and about an heritage, and so they bought into it. The ones that came are our members. We don't buy members, we don't even hire members. So the ones that came are going forward also to support us on 12th August, even to vote for us to vote for CHILUFYA.
Petauke Central rejected aspiring candidate under the Patriotic Front Emmanuel Banda, commonly known as JJ, has opted to go independent in the August 12th election. This is the second time Mr. Banda is contesting Petauke Central as independent, with the first being in 2016 after he was once again left out. Addressing the media Thursday, Mr. Banda says he is the right candidate to deliver development as the son of the soil. He explains that Petauke has remained underdeveloped due to bad leadership at parliamentary level. Mr. Banda, who has also cited irregularities in the adoption process, has vowed to continue supporting President Edgar Lungu while on his independent campaign trail. He notes that President Lungu has massively delivered according to the expectations of the people, but some members of parliament are sabotaging his development.
After being left out on adoptions for the second time, being in 2016 and 2021, Petauke Central Patriotic Front aspiring candidate Emmanuel JJ Banda has announced that he will stand as an independent member of parliament.
I'll stand as independent. Yeah, that it comes to because of the people of Petauke, the people I want to represent. The people I want to represent, they've cried for so long. And this message goes to them.
Mr. Banda justifies his decision to stand as an independent MP on account that the current representative, DORA SILIYA, has failed to deliver development, especially in the education sector.
Petauke Central, today we are being called that we are not educated, or maybe we don't know how to talk, how to speak English. It's due to the distance to the schools. Because Petauke Central, the schools, they are in the radius of 15 to 20 kilometers. Now, how can you expect a 5-year-old child to start grade 1, and be moving every day 15 kilometers just to go and access education? So it's a sorry sign. That's why in Petauke, as for me, because of distance, I started school at 12-year-old. And my tongue was already washed with vermiculite.
He also claims that education, health and infrastructure, water and sanitation, as well as telecommunications have been neglected in Petauke.
Just to access health facility or treatment, you need to move about 15-20 kilometers. You can imagine how bad things are. That's why we are losing a lot of people in almost every day, the minimum of 5.
Mr. Banda also claims he is the best person the PF was supposed to adopt other than the adopted candidate, DORA SILIYA.
Petauke Central, ofuna wameneneo, mwaona noona vana pitamo, wanipangira mirandu izi na izi, and bantu banga Petauke. Nangu angako mafoni mwangala munitumira mukuti na presidenti aliye uyo mutima. Koma, mu Central Committee muli bantu 64. Muli pali 64, a president alimo beka. So, upeze kuti abaki na guli wa onse. Romba orobeka president ofuna akwanishet yani nichovuta ngako. So please wantu osawaika kwa president pa adoption veve onkaramo tyala komabala 53 ndiye batufunko blema osata president pa adoption. So mwemwe ngongara munitumira mafoni kupetauke kuti ya president achitransitetyo osakamba ni uti wa Central.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
In other news, Movement for Multi-Party Democracy spokesperson Cephas Mukuka has urged some political parties to weigh themselves before participating in the August 12th presidential election. Mr. Mukuka says inasmuch as it's everyone's democratic right to participate in elections, it will be wise if some political parties would emulate new Congress party leader Peter Chanda by withdrawing from the presidential ballot. He says elections must be treated with the seriousness they deserve and they should not be about prestige. Mr. Mukuka says 18 presidential candidates are just too many, hence it will be wise if serious political parties with the capacity to turn around economic fortunes are allowed to compete.
Presidential candidates who now are withdrawing from the presidential race, I think that should not go unnoticed. It is in line with democratic norms and standards, and we commend our brother Pastor Peter Chanda for having withdrawn from the presidential race. As I've said, that it is in line with democratic norms and standards. At the end of the day, Zambians are looking for a presidential candidate with the capacity to turn around their economical, social, political, and cultural problems, so that at the end of the day, our people should benefit. So what we are saying in short is that we are appealing to several others that they should do an internal examination. Let them re-examine themselves and answer the question, do they have the capacity? Do they have what it takes to turn around this country? Because this is not a matter of prestige. This is a very serious issue. It is a huge responsibility to be president. Some people may want to argue that it is within their democratic norms. Yes, we agree. But in the same vein, democracy has to be guided.
The Human Rights Commission has called for a peaceful and human rights protection environment ahead of August 12th general elections. The Commission, through its chairperson Madford Z. Mwandenga, says the maintenance of law and order and protection of human rights and freedom is cardinal to the holding of genuine, free and fair elections that reflect the will of the people as stipulated by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Mr. Mwandenga has also called for the respect of inclusive participation of all stakeholders, the rule of law, human rights and constitutionalism. He further discourages politics of violence of any form of lawlessness that have potential to undermine the integrity and legitimacy of the election outcome. Mr. Mwandenga says it is the Commission's desire that all laws relating to the electoral process, including the provision of Public Order Act, are adhered to.
Hearing after vote, the Commission is calling for a peaceful environment conducive to the protection of human rights before, during, and after the elections. The maintenance of law and order, protection of human rights and freedoms is cardinal to the holding of genuine, free and fair elections that reflect the will of the people as stipulated by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. This will shall be expressed in periodic and genuine elections, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage, and shall be held by secret votes or by equivalent free voting procedures.
The ruling Patriotic Front has for the second time readopted a white sub-chief of the Lunda-speaking people of Ikelenyi district as its parliamentary candidate for Ikelenyi constituency. This is after the PF Central Committee having substituted him for former Mwinlunga and Ikelengi District Commissioner Victor Kiekesi. The PF did not give reasons for his dropping, just as it has not given reasons for his re-adoption. Peter Fisher, who is a sub-chief Nyamwana, has since been issued with an adoption certificate. Mr. Fisher will now face UPND's Elijah Mchima. Meanwhile, the opposition UPND has re-adopted incumbent Monza Central MP Jack Mwimbu, who was facing stiff competition from Socialist Party presidential candidate Fred Member's wife Mtinta Mazoha. Mrs. Member is also UPND's founding president Anderson Kambele Mazoka's daughter. A traditional leader in Northwestern Province has urged voters not to be corrupted by political parties during the campaign period as they risk voting unworthy candidates. Chief Nyakesea of the Lungu people of Ikelengi district says political parties will be coming with different gifts to buy votes, but they should not be moved. The traditional leader has implored citizens to vote wisely.
We are going around the country sensitizing our subjects to come up with, let's say, a good plan, so that when coming August, you don't have to see bloodshed or any form of violence. We want peace. We want people to vote according to their will, and we are encouraging our people not to be corrupted, because these guys, these politicians, some they are coming with sword, others they are coming with different materials to corrupt people so that they can be voted. So we are encouraging our people to vote wisely, not to engage in malpractices.
Political parties in Ikelengi district of Northwestern Province have commended the Zambian Police Service for the countrywide effort of engaging political players on the need to maintain peace in the run-up to the August 12, 2021 elections. The political players in the border town have since pledged to observe law and order in the campaign before, during and after elections.
Ikelengi district, usually peaceful and quiet. But the Zambia police here is leaving nothing to chance as the door-to official campaign period swings open. The men and women in uniform are proactively engaging political parties on peaceful conduct in the run-up to the general elections.
We want to be an example that in Ikelengi, there was no violence during elections. No violence during campaigns. No violence during the voting. No violence after the voting.
Political parties represented here pledged to observe the provisions of the law ahead of the polls on August 12, 2021.
All the political parties who are present here, let us work together. We don't want to shed blood because of politics, no. Let us not point each other fingers or maybe fighting, no. We know we've been taught a lot of things on how we are going to do these campaigns. So let our peace prevail.
We, as PF, party and members, I can assure you, the police in charge, that we are going to play a wonderful and peaceful campaign.
Tudinungina police, ejima, munu Zambia tudinungihamu. President, which is the president, nenenzi, tumike nukavumbi. He president wetu, tumike nukavumbi, tumike nukalemesha. No president
Political parties have commended the Zambia police for the initiative of engaging political players on peaceful campaigns. Victor Mwila, in Ikelengi, Northwestern Province.
You're watching Camnet TV Main News. For now, we take our first set of commercials. We'll be back with more news after this.
President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF have facilitated increased electricity generation to 3,000 megawatts from 1,767 megawatts in 2011. Vote for President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
Master Signs. Our services range from outdoor, indoor signage such as billboards, banners, 3D light boxes, pylons and neon signs. We are located at plot number 397A, Makeni Road, Lusaka, at Oryx Filling Station. For more details, call us on +260 967 100 090 or +260 966 999 981, or better still, email us at infomastersign@gmail.com. Master Sign, we will make it shine.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
This month, we're taking over your TV screen with brand new entertainment. We're the new leaders, ain't got no competitors. A Border Patrol agent is forced to work for a Mexican cartel in Coyote.
My family! It's up to you to keep them safe.
A Ghanaian fashion designer weathers societal prejudice while chasing her dreams in 40 and single.
Single ladies to the dance floor.
A husband will stop at nothing to cover the tracks of his wife's outrageous crime in What If?
It is your responsibility to make sure that I come out clean.
3 chefs go head-to-head using ingredients chosen by their very own neighbors in Kitchen Crash.
Oh, I love it. It's blended. It's meat sauce.
It's meat sauce.
And there are wacky adventures galore when 2 families are forced to live together in Boy, Girl, Dog, Cat, Mouse, Cheese.
We can handle it.
It's your moment to be taken over with the freshest entertainment.
Welcome back. We continue with the rest of the news. Economic and Equity Party President CHILUFYA TAYALI has pleaded not guilty before the Lusaka Magistrate Court Thursday morning for alleging that President Edgar Lungu has been funding and protecting self-proclaimed Patriotic Front National Commander Innocent Kalimanshi, who he claims is a personification of hooliganism, violence and anarchy in the nation. This is in a matter in which the 47-year-old politician, who is also a businessman, has been charged with 1 count of defamation of the president, contrary to the laws of Zambia. Appearing before Magistrate Alice Walusiku, Tayali, who is being represented by former Director of Public Prosecutions DPP Mutambo Nchito, has since been granted a 20,000 kwacha bail in his recognizance and 2 working sureties in the like sum after spending a week-long in detention.
After spending 8 days in custody, Economic and Equity Party President CHILUFYA TAYALI can finally see the light of the day, following the court granting him bail in the sum of 20,000 kwacha in his own recognizance. The accused was arrested last week Thursday on the 6th of May 2021 following his live Facebook video where he alleged that President Edgar Lungu was behind the funding in protecting self-proclaimed Patriotic Front Commander Innocent Kalimanshi, who he claimed is a personification of hooliganism, violence and anarchy in the nation, made his appearance before the magistrate court this morning. The accused, who is being represented by former Director of Public Prosecution State Counsel Mutambo Nchito, denied the offense of defamation of the president that he has been charged with before Magistrate Alice Walusiku. Allegations are that between the 2nd and 5th of May 2021, with intent to bring the name of the president into hatred, ridicule, contempt, published a video clip which was defamatory against the head of state.
When I see wrong things
my blood boils. My blood boils. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And I have very strong principles, very, very strong principles. And those strong principles that I have is to fight for justice. It appears President Edgar Lungu, he is actually the supporter and funder of Kalimanshi. He is the supporter and financer of Kalimanshi. And to say the least, that is hypocritical for a president who has been talking against violence. It's hypocritical. Because when you look at Kalimanshi, Kalimanshi is a personification of violence, of hooliganism, of anarchy in this country.
However, Tayali is expected to appear before court on the 23rd of June 2021 for commencement of his trial and prove his allegations. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Constitutional Court has dismissed with course the petition by constitutional lawyer John Sangwa, where he was seeking the court to command the Electoral Commission of Zambia to amend the new form of affidavit sworn by presidential candidates. The court, in its ruling delivered by a judge Thursday afternoon, states that the petition lacked merit, hence dismissed it with a cost. The court further stated that it will give reasons in the judgment it will deliver on the 27th of May 2021. In this matter, Mr. Sangwa had cited the Electoral Commission of Zambia as a respondent in the case, and later the Attorney General joined the petition siding with ECZ. Counsel Sangwa stated in his petition that ECZ omitted or neglected to include the mandatory requirement of Article 52 and 1063, which compels presidential candidates to swear that one has not held office twice as president. The petitioner had argued that the current version of the affidavit for presidential candidates or running mate prescribed by ECZ does not mandate presidential candidates to address what is provided for in Article 1063 of the Constitution. But the Attorney General and ECZ argued that Sangwa's petition be dismissed as it was void and lacked merit. United Party for National Development UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema sued the Attorney General for malicious prosecution and is claiming damages in respect to the matter in which he was charged with the use of insulting language and was later acquitted. Mr. Hichilema is also claiming an order that all non-police officers that conducted themselves in an unprofessional manner during the operation to arrest him and subsequently during his arrest and prosecution be surcharged. He further claims interest on any amount found due, cost and any other relief may deem fit. According to the statement of claim filed in the Lusaka High Court, Mr. Hichilema stated that on April 10, 2017, several officers from the Zambia Police Service wrongfully and forcefully gained entrance into his house without warrant in an operation to arrest him that lasted until the next day. He explains that he later learned that officers by the names of Martin Musambachime, Arthur Shonga, Mpaze Mbita and Aubrey Hamwene were among the police officers that came to his home on the night of 10th April 2017 during the operation, as they gave false evidence in court in relation to the event that transpired at his home on the material day. He states that his prosecution was not only malicious and without just cause, but also that it subjected him to humiliation and disgrace, aside from bringing him into ridicule and contempt both in Zambia and internationally in view of the position he holds in society. Mr. Hichilema says he will aver at a trial that he was apprehended without just or probable cause on April 11, 2017. Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Minister Raphael Nakachinda has re-echoed government's commitment to the provision of universal access to clean and safe drinking water and adequate sanitation service countrywide. Mr. Nakachinda says this is because of the significant role water plays in the prevention of waterborne diseases. He adds that the provision of good water and sanitation contributes greatly to poverty alleviation and contributes to enhance human development and promotes human dignity. The outgoing minister was speaking at a meeting with Japanese ambassador to Zambia, His Excellency Mr. Mizuchachi Yatu, Thursday. Mr. Nakachinda has cited that improvement of water supply project in DORA amounting to $25 million United States dollars, which was completed in August as part of the project supported by Japan.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, under the leadership of His Excellency and President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. LUNGU, places high premium on the universal access to clean and safe water and adequate sanitation services. This is because of the significant role water plays in the prevention of waterborne diseases. This results into poverty alleviation and contributes to the enhancement of the enhanced human development and promotes human dignity. Your Excellency, I am aware that the government of Japan has been supporting the water sector through some of the following projects. Namely, one, the improvement of water supply projects in DORA amounting to $25 million US.
Your ministry will also coordinate with these ministries and present your priorities so that your interest will be duly reflected. Just recently, let me share with you a project on which I have signed and exchanged notes with the Minister of Finance, Dr. LUNGU, which concerns the provision of landfill equipment.
An 8-month-old baby identified as Lemi Mwansa of Lusaka's Kalikiliki compound has died in unknown circumstances. Father to the deceased, Isaac Chimba Mwansa, aged 28, reported the matter to the police. Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale says the incident is suspected to have occurred on May 13, 2021. Preliminary investigations revealed that the couple did not have any dispute but slept in different rooms.
Police in Lusaka received a report of suspected murder in which Isaac Chimba Mwansa, aged 28, reported that his 8-month-old baby, identified as Lemi Mwansa, died in unknown circumstances. The incident is suspected to have occurred on May 13th, 2021 in Kalikiliki compound. Preliminary investigations revealed that the couple did not have any dispute but slept in different rooms. The mother, identified as BANDA, aged 27, in her alleged drunken state, slept in the living room while her husband slept in the bedroom. The house is 2-roomed. The baby was discovered dead near to the door, away from the mother, by the father who woke up to go outside the house around 04 hours. Police have since detained BANDA, while the body of the deceased has been deposited in UTH mortuary awaiting post-mortem.
The government has started the process of making amendments to the Wildlife Act No. 14 of 2015. Speaking when he opened the workshop to consider proposed amendments to the Wildlife Act in Chilanga, Tourism and Arts Permanent Secretary Patrick Lungu said it is important that the piece of legislation is amended so that the management of the country's wildlife resources is fully aligned with the country's long-term socio-economic development agenda. BANDA. He said that this will ensure that the intended objectives of the review process are achieved. Mr. Lungu urged DNPW to appreciate the links between the Wildlife Act and other pieces of legislation and the need to draw a clear line between what needs to be legislated and the matter that can be addressed through administrative means. He said it is critical to come up with a law that are responsive to the needs of all stakeholders and effective in supporting government's intention on wealth creation and improved livelihood for the citizenry. Well, we take our second set of commercials. Coming up next is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbanda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Every day for me means hard work. Going to sell my goods at the local market. To get more customers, I have my secret. Oracle Pure Glycerin. It's soft, smooth, and keeps my skin perfect. And my customers know it. Thank you, Oracle, for my perfect skin.
Oh yes, it's Mayday all the way. You've worked hard. Now it's time to play even harder with entertainment that you'll absolutely love this month on GoTV. Okay. Shake things up a little and you'll never know what drama will fall. No matter your age, there's always some fun to be had. And if it ain't broke, they'll fix it anyway. For your favorite shows, stay connected to GoTV to get into Mayday entertainment.
Find something to distract me.
You got it, no problem. GoTV, love it.
The much awaited for Camnet conference is now scheduled for May 2021 with your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
We have believed that every Zambian was born for greatness, and that you and I can contribute to the development of this nation.
The big questions to ask are, can Zambia develop through agriculture? Can we produce indigenous Zambian millionaires? Plan not to miss this national conference on empowering Zambians through agriculture knowledge. Dates, 28th to 29th May 2021. Time, 0730 hours to 1630 hours. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Charges, 950 kwacha, lunch inclusive for both days. Payments through via mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010, or you can pay via Stanbic Bank account number 91 3000 1825 325. Speakers will be Professor Reda.
We need Zambia to be one of the best nations in Africa.
Professor Munkumba.
If you just listen to a lecture, you may remember hardly anything. In 2 weeks' time, it's all gone. If you read, you may remember 10% of what you've read. If you participate in a discussion, 50% retention of the knowledge. So I always tell people, knowledge is the only thing that when you share it, you don't lose it.
Professor Msongole.
Agriculture can actually solve our unemployment for our youth. Through exports, agricultural exports, we can also stabilize our foreign exchange.
Honorable Bob Chinga.
When you do a budget, you plan it so that all the sectors, especially those that could give you low-lying fruits, In other words, you can achieve a lot with it, are the first things you do first.
And biologist Kamweneshe.
We came together and put our hands together and concentrate on the soil. The people in Kenya, these Swahili people said, Dongo ni mali, means soil, that's money.
Register your participation through Camnet lines. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We now get into our international news. Israeli bombing of the Gaza Strips has continued early on Thursday on Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of Holy Month of Ramadan. Gaza's health ministry says 69 Palestinians have been killed, including 17 children. Hamas confirmed a top commander and senior members of the group have also died in an air attack. In Israel, attacks launched from the Gaza Strips have killed 7 people. The violence has also spread to several Israeli cities where Palestinians, Israelis, and Jewish residents have fought.
In 3 separate strikes, Israel again showed what it can do at will to Gaza's skyline. The Al-Sharuq Tower contained shops, offices and homes, and on its top floor, the Hamas-affiliated Al-Aqsa TV. Occupants had been told by Israel to leave. Seconds after the attack began, the building's silhouette replaced by smoke and dust. Across Gaza, a cloud of grief is spreading, taking hold of families, infecting a new generation. As the deaths mount, so does the feeling that this is just the beginning.
My daughter-in-law and my grandson died, and my granddaughter is missing without any trace. The Jews target women and children. My son's wife was 5 months pregnant. This is terrorism.
Less than an hour after the Al-Sharuq building was brought down, another rocket barrage began. Again, Israel's Iron Dome interceptors trying to deal with a huge number of targets. Hamas said it fired 130 rockets. Several got through to the town of Sderot, a 6-year-old boy killed in one direct hit on a building. Others exploding in the coastal town of Ashkelon. Earlier, Israel killed 6 senior Hamas commanders, close to the head of the military wing and involved in intelligence and rocket production.
A short while ago, we eliminated top commanders of the Hamas General Staff, including the Gaza City Brigade commander and other commanders. And this is just the beginning. We'll hit them like they've never dreamed possible.
But there is another growing crisis for Benjamin Netanyahu and his government away from this accelerating military escalation in and around Gaza. Across Israel, from town to town, there is an eruption of communal violence between Jews and Arabs, despite Netanyahu's own pledge to bring it to an end with an iron fist. On Tuesday night, Jewish cars and a synagogue were torched. On Wednesday, it was a mosque that burned. Elsewhere, Arab businesses were ransacked. Jewish crowds chanted death to Arabs. Communities used to living close to each other, doing business with each other, riven by violence and hatred. Israel facing a social and security crisis on its streets as it wages an escalating conflict with Gaza's fighting factions. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, Southern Israel.
In another international item, a joint operation between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo to defeat Islamist rebels is underway. According to the Congolese government, Kampala and Kinshasa armies are setting up an operation hub in the DR Congo's east for a joint offensive against the rebels. The latter are responsible for the deaths of hundreds of people in the last year, Kinshasa said. On Sunday, a delegation from the Ugandan People's Defense Force arrived in Beni in the DR Congo's North Kivu province to build the center up. The delegation includes Commander of Uganda's Ground Forces, Kinshasa's Communication Ministry said on Wednesday.
A joint operation between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo to defeat Islamist rebels. According to the Congolese government, Kampala and Kinshasa armies are setting up an operations hub in the DR Congo's east for a joint offensive against the rebels. The latter are responsible for the deaths of hundreds of people in the last year, Kinshasa said. On Sunday, a delegation from the Uganda People's Defense Force arrived in Beni in the DR Congo's North Kivu province to build the center up, Kinshasa's Communication Ministry said Wednesday. A Congolese army spokesman was not immediately available for comment, but a spokesman of the Ugandan army told AFP he could not confirm the information given by the Congolese government. On May the 3rd, the DRC introduced martial law in North Kivu and Ituri provinces. It hopes this will help tackle deteriorating bloodshed in some territories along its border with Uganda. Both nations were rivals during the DR Congo civil wars. The war officially ended in 2003, but since then, relations between the two have sometimes strained. Last month, Kinshasa said it was seeking over $4 billion in reparations from Uganda for its role in the 1998-2003 conflicts.
You're still watching Camnet TV's main news. We now get into your sports item. The Champions League final between Chelsea and Manchester City on 29th May will take place in Portugal, with 6,000 fans from each club able to attend. The game has been moved from Turkey to the Portuguese city of Porto because of coronavirus restrictions. Portugal is on England's green list to players and fans can attend without having to quarantine on their return home. Turkey is on the red list. The final had been due to be staged at Istanbul's Atatürk Olympic Stadium. UEFA UK government officials and the Football Association met to talk about Wembley hosting the game, but no agreement could be reached on quarantine exceptions for sponsors, VIPs and broadcasters. Both Chelsea and Manchester City say they are in discussions with UEFA and other stakeholders over ticketing and travel arrangements. City says they will offer fans a day trip travel package from Manchester to Porto for the 2020 BST match. Well, that sports item brings us to the end of Camnet TV main news, but before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. CHILUFYA TAYALI maintains his allegation against President Lungu. CONCOURT throws out John SANGWA'S petition against ECZ. PF's JJ BANDA disgraces PF's DORA SILIYA as he goes solo. In international news, DR Congo announces joint operation with Uganda Army to defeat Islamist rebels. And in sports, Champions League final moved to Porto and 12,000 Chelsea and Manchester City fans can attend. Before we go, we now take a look at Camnet's verse of the day, and it's coming from the book of 2 Corinthians 13 verse 11, and it reads, "Finally, brothers and sisters, rejoice, strive for full restoration, encourage one another, be one of one mind, live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you." Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Continue watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Pleasant viewing.